Okay, next up we have Sam Tannen with Corky Port Wine. Round of applause, and I know you're wondering what that name is. How are you, Sam?
Good, how are you?
I am wonderful. So Sam has done some really cool stuff with children's stories, and the most recent is Owl and the Pussycat, which was one of my favorites as a child. So you've actually put Owl and the Pussycat on a phone!
Right, and on tablets, and on Kindle Fire, and on Nook, everything where, kids like to use.
Why did you choose Owl and Pussycat?
It's actually one of my favorite poems.
Yeah.
Edward Lear is probably my favorite poet.
Okay.
This is actually my second app in my series of children's classic poetry, and the second one with Edward Lear. The first one was The Courtship of the Yonghy Beau.
I love it. Now, did you come from a development background to make this?
No, actually, I never started making apps before I started Corky Port
Did
Wine.
what? You had never made apps before?
No.
What did you do before?
I used to do art direction for film.
And then did you teach yourself how to build apps?
Yeah, I
That's
just
huge.
decided I wanted to. Yeah.
So you can teach yourself to build apps. Did you go to classes? I mean,
I did take a class,
Yeah.
but first I started learning on my own.
wow. It just goes to show how easy, quote unquote, it can actually be to create apps if you try hard enough. Yeah?
And you put your mind to it.
Exactly.
Right.
So, Owl and the Pussycat. Tell me more about Owl and the Pussycat.
Okay, so it's a children's storybook app for children ages 2 to 6. It has animated elements, and it has music and musical sound effects, and it's a telling of the Edward Lear poem from the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And you follow the owl and the pussycat as they go on an adventure across the sea, and then they get married, and then they dance.
Sorry.
That's the whole story.
No, it's amazing. But what I love about it is you're doing such a wonderful job of taking storytelling to that new level with these types of apps. Tablets are amazing for that experience. How has it been on the phone, particularly?
Fantastic.
Well, of course you would say that.
Yeah, it looks really great on the phone. Yeah.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
you want to show people what it looks like?
Sure.
All right. We're going to use the Elmo. If we can make. The Elmo does not want to agree with the Amanda, and the Amanda's not happy about that.
I would touch it, but I don't know what this does.
Doesn't work. I can see it on here.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell people what Corky Port Wine is while we're getting this set up?
Corky Port Wine is my company, and that's the name I put children's apps out under. If you want to know what Corky Port Wine means, it actually doesn't mean anything. It's just a funny name I came up with.
There we go.
Okay,
Now
that's
let's
it.
show
Okay, great.
Owl and the
So this is
Pussycat.
the Owl and the Pussycat. It has music. I don't think anybody can hear it, but there is music playing. There's a few different things I like to keep on the home screens for all my children's apps. I like to have a section for parents. Oh, there's something happening.
There's something happening. Oh, now you can hear the music.
Oh, that's
All
my music.
right, on.
I did this. So I have a section for parents that gives a lot of information for things that parents can discuss with their children, suggested activities, and I have a little section over here on Edward Lear, just a little brief biographical information on him, and then I'll just take you right into the app. So there's read to me and read to myself options.
Okay.
The read to me
The
option
owl and the
reads it
pussycat
to you.
went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat.
So it's the
I
owl
can
and the
literally
pussycat.
hear my mom in my head right now.
I know. And
They took
you go
some
from page
honey
to
and
page,
plenty of
and
money,
I like to make it
wrapped
really
up
obvious for
in a
small children
5-pound note.
what they can touch on and what they can interact with. So that's why I have these little circles glowing here. So, for instance, if you touch this one, a little bee comes out of the honey. And
It's
over
almost
here,
like
little things.
the modern day version of the books that had like the fuzzy bits and the things
Yeah.
you could put in pockets and stuff
Right.
like that, but now it's all digital.
Yeah. So you just kind of go through the story.
The owl
of,
looked up to the stars above
the
and
poem,
sang
and
to a small
Owl
guitar.
plays some music and.
Do you have kids?
Oh, lovely pussy,
No,
oh, pussy, my
I don't have
love.
any kids.
What a beautiful pussy
And
you
you've
are.
done such an amazing
You
job
are-
with this. Nieces,
you.
nephews,
Pussy said
friends
to
with
the owls,
kids?
I
"You
have friends with
elegant
kids.
fowl."
There we go.
So that's
Okay,
charming
now we
and
need to
sweet
stop
you
with the
Okay,
owl
we
and
need to stop the
pussycat.
talking.
Ah, that's so much better.
This is my favorite. I would
How many
throw up.
people in the room have kids? Do you think that they would like this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm,
How many people actually do digital books with their kids? Yeah?
Okay.
All
a few.
right.
All
Wow, so we're actually moving in that direction.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that's work. That
Parents
works.
seem to like using this with their children.
Okay, parents, what questions do you have about Owl and the Pussycat? How much is it?
It. That's a very good question to which I don't have an answer at the moment.
Don't know how many users yet.
This is a one-man show right now, so as far as tracking that type of stuff, I'm going to be totally honest and say that I'm not that.
It's a labor of
familiar.
love,
Yeah.
folks. A labor of
Yeah.
love.
Who's asking these questions? I want to know my
We have a
accuser.
question here in the front. Oh,
I
different
want to
languages.
eventually. I want to go back into my apps and not just, add in more languages, but I also like to add in additional poetry by Edward Lear, have little things linked, and you can, learn different parts. But yeah, I do want to have other languages.
So kind of a layered experience where you've got the linear thing with the story itself, but then you're layering
Yeah,
stuff on
I
top
like
of it.
to, yeah.
Very cool. Other questions from the parental units in the room? Can you skip
Oh, hi.
pages?
Can you? Yes.
So I have an app user interface question. Did you find that you really needed the circles, that it was too hard for the young children?
Repeat the question.
The question is, do I really need the circles to let children know where to touch? The circles are actually to let children know where not to touch, because if you don't have anything on there, they're going to assume that everything is interactive, and that's also for parents as well. They've come to expect that if there's something on a tablet, if you touch it, something's going to happen. But for something like this, for a storybook, it's very specific elements that are meant to be interactive. So that's kind of why they're there.
Did you test this with your friends' kids?
Yes, my friends have used it with their kids. I have not seen my friends use it with their children, but I get a lot of feedback from them. This is actually my 6th app, so every time they use it, they play around with it. They tell me what they like, what they didn't like,
Yeah.
and also from my adult friends as well. If I see my adult friends touching something and they get confused, I go, well, I'll fix this for you, adult.
And it would be really interesting at some point to, once you are more than a one-man shop, to be able to watch the behaviors of children that interact with these, because children that are digital natives, as they say, are using tablets and computers in much different ways and that are much more intuitive than we do.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Well, any last minute questions? One more question? Anybody? We good? Owl and the Pussycat. Come on. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.